Okay guys, this is where we're at. I've put my papers on the front. I used one of the cut-aparts and I just did a triple mat on it. I added 1.5 inches of the striped paper here and then filled in with the floral. I had these little wooden pieces in my stash, the buttons also in my stash. And I've wrapped the ribbon around and I just secured it under this back piece. Because it's not full, the magnet's not staying right like it should, but it will once it's filled up. Cuey, that's enough. Sorry about the dog. So when you open, you have 3 little leaves here that I punched out of the paper with a die that I had in my stash. This is from the punch out page. I think they call it, I forget what they call it. Let me pause this. My grandson left this computer on and it's making too much noise. Okay, I could hear people hollering. This flaps out. We have 2 photomats here, just matted on some of the design paper. I left this one plain for a photomat. Opens this way and you have another photomat and a photomat here. I like to cut small strips, and I think it just gives more interest to your page. But you can certainly make it one full color if that's what you want to do. I just like it this way. And then I added a little button, and this twine came with my design kit. This is the other half of the front on the inside. The triple pocket that I showed you, and I did make a large photomat for it. I've got glitter everywhere because I was glittering something else. So I used one of the cut-aparts, and then these are the 3x4s, and I trimmed it down just a little bit to fit this insert. And then I did that on the back. And I used a die that I had in my stash for the pull tab. Oh, here it is. I have a set of this shape stackables, and I just used that and turned it on the side like that. So that's going to go in the back deepest pocket. There it is. And then I just used scraps, and this is from the punch out sheet. These little tabs here, I just glued them back to back and made photomats to go in these side pockets. This one goes here, and then this one goes here, and it's just like that. And then I made a little folder to go for the recipe cards, and it says "Gather Together" and "Give Thanks," and it's plain on the back, well, with the knife and fork paper. And this is the inside. I just added 2 little pockets and some more of the die cut pieces, and I have 3 recipe cards in each slot. And then on this side I used one of the cut-aparts, and that just goes in the bottom pocket here. And then on the right hand side we have this flat pocket, and I just made a little tab. It's 4 inches by 1, and I folded a 1/2 inch under so it leaves you with 3 by 1. And then one of the cut-aparts I used as my stopper because I'm out of magnets. And then I have a bunch of the 3x4 cut-aparts in here for photomats. I have 5 of them. Oh, it's upside down. So it closes. You stick this little thing in there and it helps hold it closed. Like that. And then I just tied a little ribbon around it, and I put this red strip in here just to carry the red all the way across. And this little border is a Martha Stewart punch that I have had around for years. It's this one, and it is called Footlights. I put the name on the back of all of them when I got them. I should use them more than I do. So it folds up like this. and then the ribbon will tie across the top. And that will be the album. And all three of these will then go in a storage container to sit on a bookshelf or wherever you might want to put it. Thought it'd be really, really pretty. But that is the fall or the Thanksgiving folio. Alright, thanks, and I will be back soon we'll work on the Christmas one. I do have the Halloween one done as well, and I'll do a video on it soon. Okay, this morning we're making the fall folio for the holiday trilogy project, which will include Halloween, fall or Thanksgiving, and then one for Christmas. And like I said, these are going to be fairly small as far as flaps and inserts, that type of thing. I just wanted something that would encompass the memories from all three holidays with maybe 12 to 15 photos, something like that. And then Luann from Bobbie Scraps, she suggested that I also include family recipes in this because so many of our holidays revolve around meal times and food and desserts and all kinds of family traditions. So I'm going to try to include a section in there where you can add a couple of your favorite recipes, or maybe something that the family has handed down from generation to generation that you want to pass on to other kids or other parts of your family. And you can see in here where it says gather together and give thanks. That would be perfect for that page. And there's some little die cuts, one pairs, the silverware, and a teapot. So that'll work perfectly for this collection. What Tammy sent me for this is the Authentique Gracious, and I have I think this is the punch-out page. Just really pretty colors. And then it's going to be a small collection because it's not, whoops, this is part of another. That's not supposed to be in there. We don't need that in there. Let me lay that aside. That was another project I'm working on. Okay, so here's the papers I have. This one is absolutely gorgeous colors. Has the foliage and some kind of gourds, I guess it is. And it's got wheat on the back. I have one with the pears. And I love that plaid. So pretty. This one, I don't know if it has a name. It's just called Gracious 3. It looks like it's kind of a floral, kind of a folk art pattern. And here's another wheat pattern. This one is your fall leaves and a stripe. This one is a white floral, real tiny floral on a brown background. And this has got the teapots and cups. That's really cute. I love the colors in this floral. And then on the back side we have another plaid. I really do like plaids. And there's one of the sheets of cut-aparts. I love this Becker seeds. That's really neat. And the pumpkins. Ooh, I like the wagon too. Oh, well, I like it all. That's really pretty. It's got mushrooms. And then this one is the second one I have. It says, I think I love fall most of all. I can smell autumn dancing in the breeze. Isn't that neat? Shorter days and setting sun set the stage for autumn fun. I like that too. And there's the back of that one with the silverware. So let's get started and put this folio together. So there will be 3 in this project. You can make one or all or whatever you want to do. You can certainly change the pattern and make them something other than a holiday memory set. I thought this would be really neat as a recipe collection. One for main courses, one for desserts, and another for breads and appetizers. So there's just unlimited possibilities. Let me get my scoreboard out here. The base of all the 3 of these will be the same. There is a 9x9, and this one is the dark brown Artisan, and it's scored at 1 inch on each side. We have a 9 by, I think this is 5, let me Oh, here's my ruler. Yes, 9 by 5 also scored at 1 inch. And 9 by 7 scored at 1 inch, just on one side on the two smaller pieces. So they are going to attach like this. Okay, so let's fold and burnish each of these and put them together. I like to use the scoreboard when I glue them together. It just makes it easier to get a straight line. And I don't think that burnished straight, did it? I guess it did. Felt like it was kind of pulling crooked. No, it's straight. Okay. So these have been scored along quite a while ago. I had so many projects in the works. I went ahead and got some of my cutting and scoring done early. Let me score this again. 1 inch. I must have just went over them once in the beginning. Usually I do it twice to get a really good score line. Okay. Now, much better. So there's that one. And then we'll do both of these. Okay, so this one, the larger one, will attach to this side, and the smaller one to this side, so that it closes like this. I do like to add a small piece of a lightweight chipboard when I put albums together like this, just for stability on the side parts. I'm sure you've all seen albums where people have put them together and they kind of mash over at the sides when they put pieces together like this. There we go. There's that one. And we'll put some glue on this one. I'm just using the art glitter glue. It's just what I prefer, but if you like score tape better, by all means use whatever you like. So we're just going to match this up at the top and just inside the score line. Let me get a piece of lightweight card chipboard. I should have had that cut out already, but I didn't. That's medium. Okay, I had to pause it while I dig for my lightweight chipboard. I knew I had some. So I cut 2 strips 7/8 by 8 7/8. And I went around the edge with a dark brown marker just to make sure my edges don't show after it's all put together. I am going to cover this with the design paper, but just to be safe, I went around the edges. And I'm going to put this right down the center between the two score lines. I said I was. Had it a little crooked there. There we go. And one on the other side. Now this is going to be very quick and simple to make. I just thought it would be neat to have something, because so many of the holidays all come right together, and I thought it'd be neat to be able to house them all together so you have all of one year in one location. Here we go. There's that one. So that when you close it, it will go like this, and your sides will stand up straight. Have you ever seen the ones people build and then they all want to flop over to the side? It's because the sides are so weak without that extra support, and that just really makes all the difference. And this is the marker I used on the side, a Copic E49. So let me put that up. Okay, on the inside left cover, I'm going to have two flaps, and we're going to put all this together, and then we'll go back and decorate it. The first piece is 7 by 5.5. You don't have to write all this down because I will have a cut list. Actually, I think I've already made the cut list. You know, these score lines, for some reason, I don't know what I did, but that is not defined enough to make me happy. So let me do another half-inch score line. There's that one, and my other piece. I don't know why, maybe because they laid in a bag for so long after I cut them out. I don't know, they didn't seem to want to fold very nice. See how it was trying to curl here? It's not supposed to do that. So in the future I won't score them ahead. Okay, let's bring our folder back. And the largest of the two is the 7 by 5.5, and it's going to go along this edge, and you can put it to the bottom, to the top, in the center, whatever you want to do. I'm going to just eyeball mine and put it pretty much in the center. And if you put your edge up against there, you can pretty well make sure that there's an inch and there's an inch. That'll do it. Put it right there. That pretty much makes it right where I want it. And it's right along the edge. Couldn't ask for better, could you? Okay, now this one is 5 by 5 3/4, and I'm going to put it inside, just inside the score line, so that it overlaps this one. Now you don't have to miter the edges of these since they're not going all the way to the top or the bottom. to center it, sort of, and put it just inside that score line. Don't want it too far in, because we're going to put paper under this. Okay, now let's go to the right side. There's only 2 pieces on the right side, and I didn't write them down. They are, this one is from the scraps. It's a 3-inch piece, and it is a pocket scored on 3 sides. And do a dry fit, make sure this is right. I don't want my corner hanging over. Okay, that's fine. So that is a 3-inch piece. This is 9, so you'll cut it at 10, just a hair short of 10, and then you'll score on 3 sides at a 1/2 inch. And then you want to miter the 2 top edges and the corner. You don't want these 2 to overlap like that, because then you get too much bulk. And actually, when you burnish it, your scoring tool will make a shiny mark on your paper, which you don't want, or I don't anyway. Okay, so we're going to put our pocket down, and it goes the length on the outside edge. Turn it around. Better to do it myself this way for the pocket. There we go. Doesn't have enough glue on it. On my scoring tool. Okay, and then the second piece is 6 by 3, and it is going to go just inside the score line like this, and that will keep everything from coming out of here. Okay, and I'm just going to eyeball it just inside the score line. Okay, now for the center back. Hold on just one moment, I need a real quick break. Okay, for the inside back, now I haven't picked out my design papers yet, so I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with the back, but I'm not going to glue it in place just yet because I want to put something behind first. But we're going to have an angle pocket here, and there will be 2 angle pockets on this side. I have to trim those off yet. And then this will go at the bottom, like that. but I want to put paper behind it before I lay this down, I think. Now I want to put this one down first, and probably these. I think I can slide behind them, so okay, let's go ahead and put those down, but I do need to cut these two off. Let me cut it real quick like, so they don't hang below my okay. So I'm going to put down my pocket first so I can get my side pieces where I want them, because I want to make sure this is centered and the edges of those are all covered up or hidden under this pocket, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to center this towards the bottom. Inside the score lines. Oops. Oops. This one, and I have made a mark at 1 inch from the top because that's where I want it to stop, and I'm going to trim just a hair off of this. And I've got all these sizes in my cut list, and this is going to go right inside there and stop at the 1 inch like that. So I'm just going to glue this down and just a tad right there on the corner. Oops, I didn't put a tad down there, did I? Right at the 1 inch. Let's see how that's good. This is going to go all the way down since I attached that. Yeah, I shouldn't have done that yet. Let me lift that up real quick, because I want this one to go down in there. I want these two to stay separate for like tags and stuff like that. So right at the 1 inch. There we go. And then I want this one to sit on top of it. And go down. Just a hair, like that, maybe a little bit farther, yeah, about like that. Make sure I've got enough room in here. And this will be a neat place to put the recipe cards if you want to put that in your album. Because Thanksgiving is a big mealtime thing, big celebration. Okay, so let's get this in there and get it over as far as I can. And down on this edge. There we go. And we're still going to close there. Good. Okay. So we should be good with our pockets. Here, 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 and here. Okay, so that's our basic layout. Now I've got to cut my design pages, and I'm going to put a magnet, just one magnet here in the center. And I'll put it up underneath this flap, and then under this one. And that will be that. Alright, let me cut some design papers and get my magnet out, and I'll be back with you. Thanks. Okay guys, I'm back and I have all my papers cut, and I just want to share with you my thought process. I dropped a piece, but I'll find it. It's down there somewhere. It fell on the floor. What I'm going to do, and I'm just going to share with you my thought process, and then I'll glue these down off camera. I've cut all my pieces. I like to paper piece. I think it gives more interest to your page. So on this front flap, I have one of the cut-aparts, and I just added some cream cardstock from my stash for a photo mat. And then I took a little die that I have in my stash. Let me show you. This one here, and I cut out 3 different leaves just to make an embellishment, and I'll leave that loose so you can slide a picture under it. And then I just have a little bow on a button, so that will go there. On the inside I have this wheat paper right here. I haven't decided on an embellishment yet for that. Then on the inside, oh, I don't guess I cut anything for that, did I? I'll have to do that. I have this for the center, and then at the top and the bottom each I have this wheat paper with a little green stripe, and I'll have the same at the bottom. And this is the inside part. Okay. Whoop, oh boy, I'm dropping stuff everywhere. I'm hitting it with my sleeve, I think. Okay. So that goes here. Let me see what else I dropped. Oh, okay. Alright. On the center. Now on these corner, or these diagonal pockets, these are just my trim pieces for the center. On these diagonal pockets, when I cut them out of the brown cardstock, I measured over 1 inch. You can still see my pencil mark there. And then I just went down far enough so that it's covered by this pocket and cut it off. And then I cut my angle. And I did both of these at the same time just so that I get the same angle. And then when I cut this from scraps, I had a square piece, and I just laid it up underneath where I wanted it, and I penciled around it so that I could cut it out. And again, I cut these 2 pieces at the same time. Did the same thing with this one. And then this is one of the cut-aparts, or it's on a sheet of punch-outs instead of stickers this time. And I just used a die in my stash, a little scallop circle to put that down. And because there's red over here, I wanted to bring red into here. And I'm going to put this up here and this little quote here. And it will just let part of this red show over here. Then on the right hand side, I want to tie this ribbon over here with a button. So I've got that tacked down on the back side of this flap. That's all I've done to it so far, just glued that piece down. This is going to go here, and I knocked my other little green strip off on the floor. I have another one for here. This will be the inside of the pocket, and I have to piece two of them together because I'm almost out of paper. But I had enough where I could match up the print perfectly. So that will go there. That is my thought process. On this one, I punched out a little border with a Martha Stewart punch, and I'm going to put a little strip of red trim on there just to tie all of it together and bring the red over to this side. I try to always mix small and large patterns together and then break them up with some solids, if at all possible. Now, most of my embellishments or photo mats in here will be basically solid because these are all prints, but they're fairly small, so they're not real busy. I do have the papers cut out for the front, and I'll show you that when I come back. I want to get all this glued down before I lose track of where it's at, and then we'll work on the outside and the embellishments. Alright, as soon as I get these glued down, I will be back with you. Oh, and I did ink all the edges with Vintage Photo. So I will be back shortly and we'll finish up.